Well, you know that I love stride piano, so very often I come across even professional, very good professional piano players that would like to start to approach stride piano, and they ask me, where do I start from? All right, so we can start from the left hand, because I think that's one of the most characteristic features of the style. And all you have to do is to learn with precision and in time to alternate the bass notes with the chord. So the bass note on the first and third beat of the bar, and the chord, possibly full chord, 4 parts, 4 notes chord, on the second and fourth beat of the bar. So make sure that the chord that you play here in the middle of the register is built around middle C, because if you go lower than middle C, the sound will get muddy. And if you go higher than middle C, the sound of the chord will lose consistency. So that's very important. So, and you can start, for example, if you already know all the chords, symbols, and what they mean, and the basic voicings of the major, minor triads, the major 6, the minor 6, the dominant 7, the minor 7, the diminished, and I would add also the dominant chord with the flat 5 or the raised 5. So I would say these are the basic chords that you should know in every key. And of course also the tonic, the major triad with the major 7, and the minor triad with the major 7. And I stop here for now. Of course you can add then the voicings with the flat 9, with the 13th, the flat 13th, and so on. But let's leave that aside for a while. So just take any song, preferably a ballad to start with, and try to go through all the chords of the structure of the piece very slowly by alternating the bass down here with the chord in the middle. So I'll give you an example, like let's take a song like Don't Blame Me in C major. So very simple. The melody also can be played very simple, either with the octave or just with one note, so that you've got time to think what you're doing with the left hand and you don't get too much overwhelmed. And so these are the first 16 bars of the tune. Now you see, probably you noticed that sometimes I was playing single note in the bass with the pinky, sometimes the octave, sometimes the 10th. Now it depends how big is your left hand. If your left hand is big enough to stretch all the tenths intervals, because you see there are different sizes of tenths. So for example in C major with the 2 white keys, that's pretty easy to reach. But if you go to D flat, for example, D flat F, it's because of the configuration of the keyboard, the interval is much wider. I mean the interval, the distance I should say, between the two notes. So, but you can simply do the tenths that you can reach, you play them. The ones that you cannot reach, you leave them alone. You just play the bass note with the pinky or the octaves. You know, there is nothing wrong with that. Also, by playing a ballad very slow, I would tell you right away, try to stretch the jump 2 octaves as wide as you can, so that you start to build up some kind of awareness in your upper arm about the distance, you know, because then by doing it slow, little by little, how can I say, your muscle memory will be able to let you play faster and faster, and then you don't have even to think about that anymore. If you hear the great stride piano players of the past, you know, Fats Waller, James P. Johnson, Donald Lambert, the Lion, man, they had a left hand that was beyond, and that bass note was always very accurate, and they wouldn't even look at the keyboard, you know? It's unbelievable. It's a wonderful skill. And you see, the thing about the stride is that if you learn to do that with confidence, then you, as a piano player, you have your own rhythm section with you all the time, because you've got the rhythm, the bass, the harmony, everything is there, you see. All right, so that's the first suggestion that I would give to those piano players that would like to start to approach the style, the Harlem stride piano style. And of course, you gotta listen to the records, because remember that practicing something without a clear reference in your mind, it's useless. It's just useless. Because you can achieve something, but the flavor, the intention, the sound, you get it because you have a reference in your mind. And to create that reference, either you go to live concerts, but with the pandemic there's no live concerts, plus the great masters of the past, they are all gone. So you gotta listen to the records, fall in love with that, and try to get to that sound.